Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Shannon Fisher, creator and facilitator of Webinescence Enterprises. And wow, what an exciting week it was last week. I am just lighting some sage right now so I can cleanse this sacred space before I get started. So if anybody finds themselves, whether you join in on the live or you're catching this replay, and you find yourself in a state of anxiety, overwhelm, just feeling the pressures of life, let's take a moment and sit with this beautiful smoke. Even virtually, this beautiful sacred herb and plant assists with clearing the energies and helping to calm the mind and be able to drop back into that heart space. I will leave that burning just off to the side here, so you'll probably still see the smoke going. Wow. Just to bring you guys up to speed with me. Last week was extremely transformational, especially in the last few days. My one and only son has moved out, officially gone as of Saturday. He cleared out all his stuff after work Saturday night, and was that bittersweet. I am so grateful for the universe giving me a beautiful soul. I'm going to cry. A beautiful soul. One of my dearest friends has been here with me. She showed up earlier in the day and to stay with me for the weekend. And also I had another dear friend and client who signed up for a drum making one-on-one workshop with me, which was really quite interesting because working with this new drum, as you can see behind me here, that's my baby. And that's the other person's drum. They are curing right now. We will go through a birthing ceremony with these drums on a Wednesday coming up here. But yeah, so we were creating these drums while this big transition was happening. And I got to say, take a moment and be super grateful for the universe for keeping me distracted with beautiful things so that I didn't get caught up in the, I call it sadness. I guess as a parent, we know these things are going to happen sooner or later. But once they're here, it's a very different story. There's just like transitioning for when people cross over, death, if you will. I don't think we can really like prepare ourselves for what we're going to experience. And so here I am. I'm feeling all the feels all the time, and grief is one of them, and it comes in waves. So I have learned very well in this last couple of years, but more so in the last 6 months, to honor my feelings more often now, instead of judging them as bad or suppressing them. That if the tears come up and out, then that is what's meant to happen in that moment. I now honor myself with that. So the waves come and go. So you may or may not see me get emotional, but that's okay. I believe in authenticity, and I do. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's who I am. And I am no longer going to be dimming my shine when it makes other people feel uncomfortable. I hope it sparks their light. So this morning, I woke up 6 a.m. It was still dark, made my coffee, got the garbage out, and then sat down with my coffee in my new bedroom, the big master bedroom, and opened up the curtains, and I could see facing east and south. And so I watched the sky start getting a little bit brighter with all the different hues and pinks and then blues, and watched the sunrise come up. And I realized, wow, this is so beautiful. I need to do this every day to honor the beauty that is nature, that is right in front of us every single day. It's nurturing. The feeling of doing something like that is very nurturing for the soul and for the physical body. And while I was tuned in with Spirit this morning to bring forth the messages for the human collective for this 7-day forecast, which is, by the way, valid for January 30th through to February 6th. Is it the 6th or the 5th? I think it's the 5th. My bad. Let me double check. Yes, it is the 5th. So the next live will be scheduled February 6th. And what came through was for all of us to be in joy with the glorious elements of immense beauty. Because it's always right here in front of us all the time. So Spirit, Great Spirit, if you will, is asking for us to give ourselves permission to take moments, multiple moments throughout each day, to just be in that sacred reverence with our home, nature. Unplug from the busyness and the chaos around so you can appreciate the beauty that is right here in front of us. This will cultivate more calmness within your body, the appreciation and gratitude for the beauty that surrounds us all the time helps to shift the focus out of the funk, if you will, and allows your body to settle too and come back into its natural rhythms in homeostasis, which is where we're in optimal health and well-being. Remember, when we're in a state of fight or flight, triggered by fears, anxieties, and worries, all our energy gets pulled out of the areas that, like your heart, your intestines, your guts, and your immune system. All that energy gets pulled out of there to pump into your arms and your legs. That's why they call it fight or flight. The energy that runs and operates your body properly gets pulled out of operating it properly in order to give you the strength you need to fight for your life, if that's what you need to do to stay safe and alive, or into your legs so that you can run to keep yourself safe. And this world on a global stage pumps out a lot of fear. We have a choice. We can plug into it and believe it and get caught up in it, where we will end up getting sick because of that. In that state of being fight or flight, our bodies cannot heal. It cannot repair. That's why we need to sleep every night too. It does a very good job when we do get to sleep to properly repair and come back into that natural balance. So forging time throughout the day to appreciate the beauty of nature, which is a part of us, reconnect back to this, is going to help get into the eye of the storm, because the chaos is always going to ensue out there. But we do have a choice. We do not need to plug into it. Okay. So, yeah, in a nutshell, Spirit was like, look for beauty. Stop and smell the roses. And make time to watch the sun rise. And because I did that today, I'm like, I really want to see the sunset. And I have an opportunity to be out near the ocean later this afternoon. So I may just stay out that way long enough and go to the beach in Tsawwassen and watch the sunset from the ocean view. I feel like that is going to be a great thing to do today. All right, without further ado, we're going to pull the messages from the Ascended Masters, and then an additional message of guidance is coming from the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck. Really jumped out to me this morning. So what are the messages for the General Collective for January 30th through February 5th, 2023? Can't make this up. Most important message. Additional guidance for the General Collective for January 30th. There it is. Okay. So for those that have not seen me before and how I interpret the cards as I'm using them when I use cards for divination, please know that Spirit has no limits or boundaries on how to deliver its messages. So even though this is like geared towards the intention for messages to help us for this upcoming week, this next 7 days, Spirit doesn't work in a linear way, although they're helping us navigate with our intentions to the best of its ability, working with us down here in our constructs and the physical reality. But if you're drawn here anytime after that, the messages are going to be relevant to you. So there's a reason you're being drawn to old messages that are being that have been provided, and they were relevant there too. But there's something happening again in the future that going back and seeing or that is just a way of Spirit nudging us towards what's going to be beneficial for us. So please allow yourself to be open to possibilities beyond what we kind of try to put limitations on. Things are not so black and white. It's not an either or thing when we're working with Spirit. It's this and that. So take in everything that resonates, and some of these messages may not resonate until later on in the week, right? But take what you can, do what you can with the messages, and because it's when we apply that guidance that has a beautiful effect in positive ways for where we are in life and where we're going on our journeys. But if it doesn't resonate for you, that's okay. As a General Collective, it ain't going to hit perfect for everybody, and that's okay. So take what you can, what feels right for you, and leave the rest. So when I pull the main messages, I've got 3 cards coming from the Ascended Masters and 1 additional card coming from the Alchemy Guide. So once I pull the main messages, which are connected to our physical experiences and reality, if you will, or 3D, and what remains at the bottom of the deck once I pulled those cards is Spirit had informed me quite a few years back that this is a sneak peek into a bigger picture overview. So it could be like the energies that are surrounding us, right? As well as what we're going through on the physical reality is to get us to this place up here energetically, right? So we're merging with the two. So I'm going to start with the bigger picture. From the Ascended Masters, we have Ascended Master Hina with the message of freedom. So what we're working through in the next or experiencing over the next 7 days is freedom. And it's so funny. Every time I see this particular card, I hear Bob Marley playing in my head, and the portion from, I believe it's the Redemption song, Release yourself from mental slavery, right? We're only as stuck as we think and believe we are. So when we open ourselves up to new possibilities, which does involve allowing yourself to swallow that truth that you may be wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that. You could be wrong because what was taught was not necessarily correct, right? But that's okay. Try to release judgment on that. But a lot of what has been passed down and put out for us to believe as truth, we just adapted to without really discerning if that was the truth or not. And we're being given all kinds of energy and experiences that are helping us wake up to a truth, or the truth, if you will, because the truth is the truth. It's the truth. It just is what it is. There's no manipulating around it. It is what it is. But beliefs are not necessarily rooted in truth. But if you have a strong belief towards something that's not even true, you're still going to have a very real experience, because that's how supportive spirit and the universe is. So when we realize that we conjure up a lot of our own constraints within our lives based on how we're choosing to look at it, once we let that go and open up, we set ourselves free. So we're getting to this place of freedom. I know I feel it. My son's left. I have an empty house. I'm blowing up my business in good ways. With the extra space that's here, it's a huge transition. But I do feel so free. My job as a parent has been completed, and I'm really proud of myself. I did a very good job. He's a strong, caring young man and capable of supporting himself, which he proved to me living with me this last year. It was, yeah, couldn't be more proud. Okay, and then the next message we have is sulfur. And this one's interesting. Sulfur. So I'm going to read from the book on this one because I have not dove really deep into this deck, but I feel like there's components that we're going to be working with this upcoming week that are going to help us shift into new and different perspectives, which also enhance that, freedom energy, if you will. And I feel it's very grounded and practical what these things are. And that it's going to be clear, but it's important that we shift our focus from, what might be a problem, and staring at the problem going, why did this happen? You don't want to ask that question. You want to, how do I find a solution? That opens you up, right? When you ask a question like that, the universe provides you with an answer. And be open for it to come from a friend on a phone call, opening up, your social media, and boom, there's a post answering your question right there. Trust these things. Spirit has no limits or boundaries on how it's going to send you a message. And I mean, I don't know how many times I've sat, I've been sitting in my living room just staring out the front window, reminiscing and just feeling really grateful. And then the next thing I know, there's this big moving truck and it has this heart on it. And then these big letters across it says, "We love you." And I'm just like, whoa, it's wild. But when you shift into a possibility instead of focused on what's already been, and you're going to, this is how we're going to create something different, because we create our moments. our future moments by what we're focusing on, paying attention to, and intending with our energies, our words, and our actions in the present moment. So, if you do not want to repeat history, then it'd be important when you're talking about the past to speak in the past tense so it stays there. Be reflective instead of reactive. Because if we relive it in this moment while we're talking about it, that energy's going out to the universe going, oh, this is where they're at still. Here's more of the same energy to come back and play with, if you will. So we can shift these things, but it takes a radical shift in consciousness and accountability for self as well. So sulfur, let's dive into this one and see. 29. And hello, I've got one watcher. Go ahead and comment. Let me know who is here. Okay, so sulfur represents evaporation, up and out, both and. Okay, I mentioned that earlier on with the channeled messages before I started doing this. So on an esoteric level, sulfur is the first of what is known in alchemy as tria prima, or the three primes. Along with salt and mercury, it makes up a threefold phenomenon that symbolizes the uniting of soul, which is sulfur, body, which is salt, and mind, which is mercury. On a tactile level, sulfur is responsible for both the off-putting smells and the therapeutic properties of a mineral bath. It soothes and it stinks, literally. To understand sulfur is to embrace a both and mentality, right? Don't be discouraged if the meaning of this card seems to evaporate before your eyes. For now, keep in mind that what is gross contains beauty, and what is beautiful contains its own demise. Sulfur's job is to push the geyser up and out, dissipating the pressure. Don't be surprised if what appears to be stuck or stinks soon becomes a great gift. Wow. To go deeper, we're being asked to visit or look up the sulfur cauldron in Yellowstone National Park and ponder the red lion. So, dropping down into the main messages from the Ascended Masters, the first one we have is Ascended Master Lu with persistence. Love the yellow color because the yellow and the gold is connected to the solar plexus, which is our identity, our will, and how we carry ourselves in this world. Our courage comes from here, right? And strength. So we are being guided for this week to keep going. Keep going, especially with the things that we are passionate about, regardless of whether you see a little bit of results or none or a lot. Keep going. The success is coming. And it is going to be better than you can even imagine. Flexing that faith and trust muscle in a higher power, if you will. We're in co-creation with. We are not separate. But the human mind has to get out of the way, tap into that heart, ignite that power, and listen to that inner guidance coming. Persistence. We do have the courage and we do have the energy, and we are being guided to continue forging the path with the opportunities that are presenting, that are in alignment with your joy your purpose. And our purpose as humans is to be in joy, to find that light and shine it. Boom. Second message is Ascended Master Ganesh with yes. This is the gold card. Obstacles are being removed. Challenges are being completed. So good job. Spirit saying, hey, whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through, whatever you know is upcoming that has felt challenging, weird, or just way out of your comfort zone, they're saying, please take a moment and give yourself gratitude for the beautiful being that you and we are. For we're here and we are shining our light. We're doing the best we can with what we have. And so new doors of opportunity are opening up. This card says yes. So if anybody was coming on here to watch, whether you're live or on the replay, the answer to any question that you have or may have had is yes. Okay? So apply that wherever you feel it fits in your life. And for me, I definitely, it's like the green card, if you will, the go card too. Yes, things are working out. Things are going to work out. It's a huge affirmation for me, better than I can even imagine. So, whoa. All right. I trust. I have faith. I seriously do. Okay. Our last message from the Ascended Masters, we have Lord Krishna with the message to find the blessings in your current situation. Remember how I said before that you will not find a solution or get out of feeling stuck in it by reminiscing on an old situation. I mean, the past is done. We've all made mistakes. Come to terms with it. It is what it is. And I, right here, right now, apologize to anyone and everyone that may have been offended by anything I have said or done or didn't say or didn't do. I truly am sorry. Never, ever has it been my intentions to hurt anyone. And I realized in the last few months here too that it was hard for other people to see me clearly when I wasn't even seeing myself clearly. So I'm grateful now for all the challenges that I've had and all the relationships that I've had and will continue to have, and the new ones coming. It's all been such an amazing gift that helped me get to where I am here. And even the most challenging ones, I'm grateful for those people in my life too, because it showed me a lot what not to do, helped me with boundaries, helped me to understand discernment and make better choices after I made lots of different mistakes. But hey, welcome to the human experience. This is how you find the blessings in your current situation or any situations, really. If you've got something you're stuck on and you're reeling in, you got to shift the perspective, ask a different question. What was this teaching me? Because it didn't happen to you, it's happening for you. You switch your mindset. You switch your experience with what you're doing and having. There's blessings in everything. That silver lining, even if it's as simple as, okay, now I know what I cannot and will not tolerate. That's a big boundary. It seems like a small silver lining, but it's actually quite a profound one. It's beautiful. The choice is yours. If you want to remain focused on the problem, which causes pain and suffering, or set yourself free by shifting into, okay, that didn't happen to me, it happened for me. I'm here to learn. I'm here to become the best version of myself. How am I going to do that if I keep thinking I'm a victim of life? That doesn't work for me. I've lived that life and it didn't work. It was a self-perpetuating, destructive cycle, and it operates in the lower self form of the ego. And the ego's not a bad thing. It's programmed to keep us alive, but it tries to keep us in the things it already knows, even if those things aren't good for us, because it is so scared of the unknown. But that's okay. Learning how to have a different relationship with these different aspects of ourself without judging them as good or bad, they just are. That's what Spirit's saying to me. It's becoming more and more clear about coming into right relationship with self. When you get there, you can have and cultivate more harmonious relationships with others, even in times of chaos and conflict. You can still find harmony when you're in right relationship with self. It harmonizes the relationships out there, and the ones that don't resonate with us, that's okay. We're just not going to connect. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to go hating on the people. That's ego. Okay, so lots of blessings. Oh my gosh, this week feels great already. What a great start. And our very last message here, what is this? Mortification. So, like, that looks a little creepy, to be honest with you. Like, mortification, but I know better. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? I feel like there's a transformation. Okay, even though the illustration can look quite eerie, all right? Don't get caught up in what you've seen with, like, movies, scary movies and stuff like that. Don't let that ego bring up the fear here. Don't judge a book by its cover. The all-seeing eye is right smack in the middle here, which means it's going to understand that there's a process to everything. And just like the other message with sulfur, right? That higher self or bigger picture message from this deck is with sulfur is it's this and that. In beauty, you're also going to see things that aren't so beautiful, if you will. And in the chaos and the destruction, there is beauty in that as well. This is the problem. If we put our stake and we think, no, it's this or that, then we're going to start having some resistance and distortion in our fields and our experiences, because we're no longer flexible and open to new possibilities. All right, let's see what it says in here. Mortification. Okay, so decay, death, and decomposition. Mortifactio is the great alchemical operation of darkness. What was once composed now decomposes. What was once presentable is now despicable. This stage cannot be avoided. The underworld has taken us into the dark interior of its belly, and here we reside until spring. Through the natural process of decay, we descend into the depths we didn't know existed. The alchemist soon finds mortifactio is a stage of regeneration and sacred power, where the soil is fertile and rich, offering nourishment for tomorrow. This stage cannot be rushed. The darkness must have time to do its work, to dismantle and to loosen, to free us from old scripts and stories. As we learn to surrender to this great operation, the earth churns and wisdom whispers in the dark. She envelops us with grace and the promise of what's to come. So this is why meditation is so good, because you come to that place of stillness, or the void, which is the darkness, but it's not the darkness in a negative way that's been programmed. Okay? Not at all. That stillness is where the clarity comes, and your connection to the divine is human words, the English words just don't even I'm having a hard time articulating the feeling of that, right? But this the wholeness, and where we will gain that clarity and the sparks of new creation, new understanding. It's in that stillness, in that darkness, the transformation begins. Healing. So to go deeper, we're being guided to read the Egyptian story of Osiris. And also to ponder, is there anything that does not end? I heard yes. Energy is infinite. All right. That is what we have for this upcoming week. Super exciting. And we'll see. I know last week it felt like I was going to be able to come on live and just start dropping some private messages for free for people that would join me on the live, but it did not work out that way. So I am open to it. If the time and the energies align, I will do my best to give you guys a heads up about it. But your best bet would be to make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell so that you are alerted when I pop on, because I love to do this. This is part of my passion. And I know we still have one person. They have not said hello. Hello. If you would like to have a personal message for yourself, whomever you are that is watching, please comment it over. If it's a specific inquiry, you can, well, ask something. Type it out. Show people how it's done. It's my friend who's staying with me, just so you guys know. That's okay. That's perfect. Right? And if you're not sure, for those that don't know me yet, if you're not sure what to ask, if there's not something specific that you want clarity on, which I can hold that in my awareness while I'm shuffling the cards, you can just ask, please tell me what I need to know right now. And Spirit always will deliver exactly what is needed. So I'm just going to give her a minute to do that. If she's going to do it. She's giggling. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can. Are you going to do it or no? No? She doesn't want messages. She's very tapped in anyway. Okay, well, that's all right. I know that YouTube was changing their algorithms and stuff, and somebody alerted to me that I wouldn't be able to respond to comments. However, I found out that I do get notified of comments on these particular videos. So for this upcoming week, for those that watch this before the next week, which will be February 6th, when I come back on live for next week, as long as you're watching the replay, and if you comment that you wanted a card or whatnot, I'll reply to your comment with your message of guidance if you so wish, and ask for it. Okay, so I hope everybody has a wonderful, blissful 7 days ahead. And if you would like to connect with me with one-on-one readings, the details are it's all written in the details down below of the section of this video, to go to my website, and my contact info is there. If you need anything, just reach out directly. Shine bright, beautiful souls. I will see you guys next week. Namaste.